Top 20 Best Moments in Hunter x Hunter. There are few anime communities as patient as the Hunter x Hunter community, being that they get a chapter once in a blue moon, and a new anime season once in 20 years. So while we wait for the next season, or wait to die, whatever comes first, let's look back at some of the most amazing moments that the 2011 anime gave to us. There are my picks for the best moments in Hunter x Hunter. Number 20. Illumi being oddly protective. Even though Illumi has done nothing but terrorized his younger brother, I guess there is still an inkling of care in his dark, twisted heart. We get to see this for a moment when his travel buddy Hisoka asks whether he can just kill the zappy twerp. Illumi answers with one of the most terrifying faces he's produced so far. And it's obvious that he would have tried to kill Hisoka if his brother did get harmed. You don't expect such sensibilities from a man who literally just started his own Walking Dead series. But the Zoldycks have always been a little weird. Number 19.
Come back here!
Killua being a maniac. The writers spared no time in showing us just how dangerous and cold-blooded Killua really is.
I probably
So,
would have ended
when the
up
group had to
killing the
face
old
off
man to
against
get the
some pretty
ball.
dangerous people, Killua's foe being arguably the most dangerous, Killua flexed some of his assassin muscle and ripped the guy's heart out. To add insult to injury, he also put it inside a doggy bag and left it next to the recently murdered bastard. As if he could take it home once he had paid the bill.
A diversion?
Got him! He blocked it easily. You move, you die. You use Nen and you die. Make a sound and you die. If you understand, close your eyes.
I'll tear your body apart. With just my bare hands, you got it?
Been a while since I flipped my switch on.
Damn you! Take this! These guys don't know when to quit.
Number 18. Gon vs. Terrorism. Whenever you see a character who can make things explode, you already know he's bound to be a villain. But instead of being a creepy hand-collecting maniac like his brother from another mother, Kira, Genthru was just kind of a douche. So seeing him getting punched right in that smug face was quite the treat. It's also worth mentioning that Gon employed some suicide Naruto tactics in this fight, and literally allowed Genthru to blow his arms off so that he can get a good attack in. Number 17. Hisoka gets blue-balled. Just like the entire Hunter x Hunter community, Hisoka was less than pleased hearing that his fight with Chrollo just became impossible. He was so dissatisfied that he just made a face that looks like it's straight out of One Punch Man. And our pedo killer clown doesn't have these kinds of breaks in character that often, so it was quite hilarious to see. And yes, I immediately read up on the fight in the manga like a true Hisoka fanboy. Number 16.
Yeah.
Nanika appears. As a plot device, Nanika was extremely entertaining in my opinion. I mean, we all knew Killua had to save Gon somehow. But turning to his mysterious half-adorable half-demon child sister was a solution I really did not see coming. And the first few episodes of her introduction do a splendid job of building up suspense, as we learn the extent of her power, as well as the deadly consequences that come with every wish. It also kept up with the brutality we had grown accustomed to during the Chimera Ant arc.
To be honest, we owe you one. Thanks for everything.
Kay,
No! No way! You've got it wrong. I should be thanking you.
Number 15. The weirdest game of dodgeball. As a show, Hunter x Hunter is pretty chaotic. It introduces scenarios that you really wouldn't expect to be present in its world. Hisoka, like the favorite child of the series, is just as chaotic. So once we found ourselves looking at a nen-infused dodgeball battle where Hisoka is suddenly one of the good guys, all logic flew out the window. And I had a blast. The scene was also oddly hype, like I was watching the final clash of Haikyuu or something. Number 13. Jing gets sucker punched. I honestly didn't like Jing that much. Even though he did the classic Shonen dad thing and left his family, I expected him to at least be extremely powerful, wise, and loving. But we don't get to see him fight at all. And all he does is annoy the people around him. He doesn't even get that emotional when he sees his own son. So, when Leo Rio's sucker punched him in the middle of an election, I was over the moon. Not only did Leo Rio just use Nen, but Jing finally got what he deserved. Number 13. Casual combat. I feel like there was only one purpose of the Zoldyck vs Krallo fight, to flex the animation team and show us what the big boy players of the series are capable of doing. Right away you kind of know that neither side is really trying their absolute best, but rather feeling out their opponent. After a few minutes of absolutely beautiful Nen display, the two sides part ways, both now aware of the power of their adversary.
分かったら黙ってそこにおれ。死にたいなら別だわの。まったくもって割に合わん仕事じゃて。
久しぶりだね。
俺を覚えているのか。
忘れるわけない。仲間の一人をやられてるしね。
苦労したがな。
平気か。
問題ない。
0.1mg でクジラとか動けなくする薬なんだけど。
チルはサポートせい。わしが奴の動きを止めたら、わしもろともで構わん。やれ。
恐ろしいじいさんだ。一瞬にしてこっちの狙いは全て見切られたか。
今じゃやれ。
イルミか。
うん。俺の依頼人は
ここにいる。
重労働は始末した。約束の口座に入金よろしく。ってね。
やらなくていいの。
わしらの依頼人は重労働。その依頼人が死んでしまった以上、お主はもうターゲットではないのでな。お主、わしらを快楽殺人者と勘違いしとらんか。
俺がイルミに重労働の暗殺を依頼したの知ってたの？
もちろんじゃ。
差しでやったら俺とあんたどっちが勝つ？
うん。それは十中八九わしじゃろう。お前が本気でわしをやろうと思えば話は別じゃがな。
Number 12. Killua is a zappy boy. For a bit, it seemed like Killua wasn't going to do much in the palace invasion. He didn't have any giant golden statues at his side, no dragons of energy, and he didn't even get that sweet rage boost like Gon. But, when I least suspected it, my boy got buffed and went Super Saiyan. He wasn't really that overpowered, as he had speed but lacked power. But it was still so satisfying to watch when he started playing Zappy Tag with Yuppie. Number 11. Kurapika gets his first body. Kurapika's battle against Yuvajin was pretty nutty. Being that Kurapika has talked about crushing the Phantom Troop ever since he was introduced, it was about time we saw an actual fight. Yuvajin might not have the flashiest powers, but the battle was still fast-paced and incredibly fun to watch. Kurapika finally used his Scarlet Eyes and landed his first W. It's also beyond savage that the man brought a shovel to a deathmatch, like talk about confidence.
仲間の居場所は
殺せ。
他にどんな能力者が
殺せ。
実に不快だ。手に残る感触、耳障りな音、血の匂い、全てが神経に触る。なぜ貴様は何も考えず、何も感じずにこんな真似ができるんだ。答えろ。
殺せ。
最後のチャンスだ。貴様の心臓に戒めのくさびを差し込んだ。私が定めた法を破れば即座に鎖が発動し、貴様の心臓を握りつぶす。定められた法とは、私の質問に偽りなく答えること。それさえ守ればしばらく生かしておいてもいい。他の仲間はどこにいる？
くたばるバカが。
Number 10. Gon returns the favor. Ever since that fateful meeting in the forest, I was just waiting for Gon to finally return the number plate to Ahsoka. And in the Heavens Arena, it finally happened. Although it's far-fetched to say that Gon outpowered Hisoka in any way, shape, or form, it was still nice to see him finally stand his own ground and at least give the raging clown a few smacks to the face. Then again, as we have seen in his fight against Castro, Hisoka is not above allowing a few punches to land if it means a better show.
よし。ここからが本当の勝負ということなのか。おお。
僕を失望させるなよ。ゴー。そうか、それなら無理にでもこっちに来てもらおうか。
しまった。
スタンドアップゴー。
やれるか。
もちろん。逃げられないなら向かうまでだ。
ゴーゴーン。今すぐ君を壊したい。でもダメダメ。もっと売れてから。
これからだ。
右の方を見てごらん。
ダウンアンドクリーンヒット。 TKO により勝者。ヒソカ。
Number 9. The End of Kite. Neferpitou was just so terrifying from the get-go that it was unreal. Just Kite and the boys get close to the king's lair, she suddenly leaps forth across half the map, and tears Kite's arm in a single blow. Dawn gets ready to fight, but luckily Killua, having a better presence of mind, knocks him out and runs to the hills. The next time we see Kite, he's no more than a head in Neferpitou's lap. Do you remember how innocent this show originally seemed? Boy, were we wrong.
見つけた。
から離れろ。いい判断だ、キルは。そのままゴンを連れて逃げろ。
Number 8. The hunters have arrived. The palace invasion arc started off with a boom. Neferpita gets blown away and a rain of energy bolts crashes upon the palace. It really looked like the beginning of a bloody war. It was an excellent way to start this drawn-out battle, and it also contributed a lot to the story too. As this rain of death eventually led to Komugi getting hurt, and all of the things that happened because of it. Also, is there no limit to Neferpita's leg muscles? Like, you know for sure she doesn't skip leg day. Number 7. Oppenheimer Netero. Although the fight was extremely one-sided, it was really interesting to see the power that the top hunter has at his disposal. He shocked me quite a few times. But the biggest shock was how the fight ended. There was no Nakama power-up or mutual agreement. Netero had half of his limbs chopped off and then detonated a bomb on himself. His face in those final moments is arguably one of the scariest things Hunter x Hunter has ever animated. Number 6. The Reunion. If you're telling me that you didn't absolutely bawl your eyes out when Leorio was finally reunited with a now-healed Gon, you're either a liar or a psychopath. There was nothing but pure happiness in Leorio's eyes once he finally saw his little buddy again. It doesn't help that he even had an entire speech just prior to this moment about how much he cares for Gon, and how he wants to help him in any way he can. Truly touching.
みんなお前を心配してくれてたんだよ。
どうもどうも。
Number 5. Bump up that Mozart. I have so much respect for the director in regards to this scene. As Krallo looks over the city, Mozart's Lacrimosa starts to play. And we can see the troupe quickly murder everyone who's in their way. Krallo talks about Euphigin in amazing poetic verses no less, and tells him that this is all a requiem for him. It was an absolutely amazing scene that had chills run down my back thinking about it. And the soundtrack was just perfectly picked for this scene.
Forever set, a precious moon is lost. The others mourn him with ceremony grand. Rising up to heaven, the mighty moon of frost, with a melody from the morning band. Well, Uvo, can you hear it? We dedicate this requiem to you.
It was the beginning of a stormy night that, while fierce and drenched with blood, was somehow overwhelmingly sad.
Number 4. Gon's Last Stand. Out of all the power-ups I've seen in anime, Gon's grown-up form is probably one of my all-time favorites. Because there's no talking, no forgiveness, just revenge. Gon doesn't come to his senses once Killua appears. And he doesn't pull his punches. I know this sounds obvious, but when you really think about it, it's extremely rare to see a protagonist like Gon tap into rage to this level. He battered Neferpitou over and over again, without mercy. And even when he lost his arm, he just stated that it made him feel closer to Kite. It was a gruesome scene that will stick with me forever as one of my absolute favorites. Number 3. Killua being a maniac Part 2, the Electric Boogaloo. Although Killua doesn't even kill anyone in this scene, it's somehow one of his most terrifying presentations. Especially in the 99 version. Because instead of just murdering all his problems, he does the next best thing, threatening with murder. He was so calm and collected, and I felt like I could sense his presence through the screen. It was that eerie. The voice actor and the animation squad really pulled through on this scene, and it was glorious as a result.
Killua の不戦勝で幕を開けた卑劣な3人組との戦い。類いまれな才能によって驚異のスピードで念を習得したゴンとキルアの天空闘技場での真のバトルが今始まろうとしている。
常人じゃねえんだよ。悪いけど。
なにだがサンダースネーク驚いたぞキルは。2本の鞭を見切ったのはお前が初めてだ。そんなお前にプレゼントさ。両方合わせて100万ボルトの電流だ。どんな大男でも身動きすらできずに気を失う無知に逆らうバカどもは全てこのサンダースネークの餌食とな。
拷問の訓練で電流は慣れっこさ。俺には効かない。でも効かないってのは我慢できるって意味でさ、痛いことには変わりないんだよね。だからちょっと頭きた。
その高さから床に激突したら死ぬな。どうする？
頼む、受け止めてくれ。
オーケー、安心して落ちてきな。たく、どんだけ痛いか分かったか、バーカ。
ヒールベルト選手、失神による KO とみなす。勝者キルア選手。
Number 2. Killua being a maniac Part 3, Revenge of the Sith. This is the last one, I promise. It happened at the very end of the Hunter exam when Illumi finally showed his true face to everyone. And as luck would have it, he was supposed to face off against Killua. So he proceeded to mentally beat his little brother up to the point of ruining his psyche and making him a shell of what he once was. No longer caring about anything, Killua one-shots an old man just trying his best. Then goes home covered in blood.
別になりたかったわけじゃないよ。ただなんとなく受けてみただけさ。
心置きなく忠告できる。お前はハンターに向かないよ。影を糧に動くお前が唯一喜びを抱くのは人の死に触れた時。お前は親父と俺にそう育てられた。
ハンターにはなりたいと思ってるわけじゃない。だけど俺にだって欲しいものぐらいある。ゴンと友達になりたい。人殺しなんてうんざりだ。ゴンと友達になって普通に遊びたい。
今のお前にはゴンが眩しすぎて測りきれないでいるだけだ。友達になりたいわけじゃない。
違う。
彼のそばにいればいつかお前は彼を殺したくなるよ。
キラー、お前の兄貴かなんだか知らねえが言わせてもらうぜ。そいつはバカ野郎でクソ野郎。ゴンと友達になりたいだと寝ぼけんな。とっくにお前ら立ちどうしたろうがよ。少なくともゴンはそう思ってるはずだぜ。
よし、ゴンを殺そう。殺し屋に友達なんていらない。邪魔なだけだから。参ったな。まず合格してからゴンを殺そう。俺と戦って勝たないとゴンを助けられない。できないね。なぜならお前は友達なんかより今この場で俺を倒せるか倒せないかの方が大事だから。勝ち目のない敵とは戦うな。俺が口を酸っぱくして教えたよね。動くな。少しでも動いたら戦闘開始の合図とみなす。
Number 1. Maruam x Komugi. That's right, my favorite moment in Hunter x Hunter wasn't even a fight scene, but rather the tragic death of Maruam and Komugi. By this point, Maruam is completely human and no longer wishes to just destroy everything. It can even be argued that he was more human than a lot of the character in the palace at that point. So seeing this touching send-off as he and Komugi keep playing Gungi in the dark, all while Maruam constantly questions whether she's still with him, was simply beautiful. Hunter x Hunter doesn't really touch romantic situations that often. But when it does, it hits you right to your very core. And that's why this is by far my favorite moment in the HXH anime.